Cross Systems Training. My name is Julie Radlauer with the Ronick Radlauer Group. Today, we have with us Cassandra Evans, Chief Probation Officer for Broward County Circuit 17, to discuss the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice.
Thank you for having me and the opportunity to highlight the nuances of the Department of Juvenile Justice.
Today, we would like to cover three topic areas: DJJ's history and function, the intersection of juvenile justice with the larger criminal justice system, and the roadmap to systems excellence. So, Chief Evans, can you start with sharing the history and key functions of the department?
The Florida Department of Juvenile Justice was created in 1994 when the function of juvenile delinquency was extracted from the Department of Health and Rehabilitative Services, then known as HRS. As a result, Florida Statutes 984 and 985 were created. These two statutes allowed DJJ to develop a comprehensive system with a service continuum that begins with prevention and ends with conditional release reentry.
Considering that DJJ's continuum is so comprehensive, how would you best summarize it?
Well, Julie, the department's vision, mission, and guiding principles do just that. Our vision: the children and families of Florida will live in safe, nurturing communities that provide for their needs, recognize their strengths, and support their success. Our mission: to increase public safety by reducing juvenile delinquency through effective prevention, intervention, and treatment services that strengthen families and turn around the lives of troubled youth. Lastly, our guiding principles: prevention and education are paramount. Strengthening partnerships with judicial, legislative, and community stakeholders. Promoting public safety through effective intervention. Providing a safe and nurturing environment for our children. And lastly, preserve and restore physical and mental health.
Chief Evans, how are those three things synthesized and operationalized?
The synthesis of the vision, mission, and guiding principles are actually described in the department's roadmap to system excellence. In order to put families first in Florida, DJJ has and will continue to manage its population and resources to provide the right services in the right place at the right time to best meet the needs of youth, families, and communities. To do so, DJJ must prevent and divert more youth from entering the juvenile justice system, provide appropriate, less restrictive, community-based sanctions and services, reserve serious sanctions for youth who pose the greatest risk to public safety, focus on rehabilitation. To operationalize these key elements, the department has 4 service areas: prevention and victim services, probation and community intervention, detention services, and residential services. Each branch has developed a detailed operational plan, so let's take a look at one example that visually details the probation and community intervention service area. Every youth under the age of 18 charged with a crime in Florida is referred to the Department of Juvenile Justice. A referral is similar to an arrest in the adult criminal justice system. The department provides a recommendation to the state attorney and the court regarding appropriate sanctions and services for the youth. When making a recommendation, the department has several options that allow the youth to remain in his or her home community. One option is diversion, which uses programs that are alternatives to the formal juvenile justice system for youth who have been charged with a minor crime. Each youth is assigned a juvenile probation officer who monitors compliance and helps the youth connect with service providers. If the youth does not comply with probation, he is charged with a serious crime or has a significant history of offenses, the youth may be ordered to live in a residential facility for a period of time. Youth referred for diversion and/or court supervision may have a variety of conditions or sanctions of supervision to follow: restitution, payment to the victim, no victim contact, community service hours, letter of apology to the victim, curfew, forfeiture of driver's license, avoid contact with co-defendants, friends, or acquaintances who are deemed to be inappropriate associations, referrals to local social service agencies, and substance abuse or mental health counseling. Conditional release is designed to provide monitoring and services to those youth who are transitioning back to the community after being in a residential program. These youth have court-ordered sanctions and services that they must complete. Youth on probation or conditional release may be ordered by the court or referred by the department to attend a day treatment program, while they are being supervised. Day treatment programs provide additional monitoring of youth and typically offer an alternative educational setting. They also provide additional services such as anger management classes, social skill building, and substance abuse education.
Thanks for that detailed explanation of the probation and intervention services section. Can you also explain the role of the remaining 3 service areas?
Yes, the Office of Prevention and Victim Services offer voluntary youth crime prevention programs by contracting for delinquency prevention services and awarding grants to local providers throughout the state. These programs target high-risk juveniles and those who exhibit problem behaviors such as ungovernability, truancy, running away from home, and other pre-delinquent behaviors. It is important to note that the revenue from the Invest in Children license plate helps to generate prevention funds for each county. Detention services are provided to youth who are held pursuant to a court order after or being taken into custody for a violation of the law. In Florida, a youth may be detained only when specific statutory criteria are met. Criteria for detention include current offenses, prior history, legal status, and any other aggravating or mitigating factors. Youth under the age of 18 taken into custody by law enforcement are screened to determine if they should be detained in a secure detention facility. Generally, there's a 21-day limit to secure detention, but those charged with serious offenses can be held up to 30 days. The Department of Juvenile Justice operates 21 secure detention centers in 21 counties with a total of 1,302 beds. The Office of Residential Services oversees the department's development, maintenance, and management of facilities and programs that meet the needs of Florida's adjudicated delinquent youth and promote public safety. This includes the development and management of a technology-based juvenile commitment management and classification placement system. This system is designed to place a youth in the most appropriate program to meet a youth's individualized treatment needs. In Florida, a youth may be committed by a judge, also known as adjudicated, to a residential program for the violation of law. This is not the same as a conviction or imprisonment. The Florida juvenile justice system is designed to rehabilitate offenders through their supervision, counseling, and treatment. A youth's commitment is a form of indeterminate period of time, which may include periods of temporary release. Primary considerations for a commitment recommendation is public safety and how to best meet the individual treatment needs of the youth. The goal is to ensure that the needs of the youth are met in the least restrictive environment and to safeguard public safety. Once the court has ordered the youth to a specific restrictiveness level, it's the responsibility of the Department of Juvenile Justice to determine the most appropriate placement available within that restrictiveness level.
Thanks for the additional explanations. Before we close today, I would like you to provide a brief summary of the roadmap to system excellence.
Certainly. The roadmap to system excellence means putting Florida's families first by transforming Florida into a national model for juvenile justice. In order to put Florida's families first, DJJ has to and will continue to manage its population and resources to provide the right services in the right place at the right time to best meet the needs of youth, families, and communities. To do so, DJJ will prevent and divert more youth from entering the juvenile justice system, provide appropriate, least restrictive community-based sanctions and services, reserving serious sanctions for those youth who pose the greatest risk to public safety. Focus on rehabilitation. Additionally, DJJ's roadmap to system excellence details strategies to utilize, such as effective prevention services and assessment tools, the identification and implementation of alternatives to secure detention, shifting residential resources to community-based intervention, the realignment of existing resources to increase the availability of transitional services, such as services for vocational programming, employment, education, family, support, transitional housing, and transportation. We want to strengthen our procurement and contract and monitoring and quality assurance processes. Finally, DJJ is committed to putting Florida's youth and their families first in all that we do by working with our juvenile justice stakeholders to increase the availability of community-based prevention and diversion services available to our at-risk youth. We need to keep our youth out of the deeper end of the juvenile justice system while not compromising public safety. We use data and metrics to measure the effectiveness and outcomes of our services.
Again, thank you for the comprehensive overview of the Department of Juvenile Justice. How can the public obtain additional information?
You're certainly very welcome. Those who are interested in obtaining detailed information about the Department of Juvenile Justice, to include data, local services, policies, and employment opportunities, can visit the department's website, located at www.djj.state.fl.us.
Thank you, Chief Evans, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us for this version of Cross Systems Training.
Thank you.